Centre myself a little bit. And we're live. Evening, everybody. I'm sure you're all just finishing watching the news. How is everyone? Let me know in the chat. Get down in the chat. Ask your questions. We'll have a chat about some different things today. I've got some subjects that maybe I want to have a chat about, stuff I've heard, things like that. We'll talk about the company's video. There's a couple of things I want to talk about that, but obviously, yeah, this is your chance to get questions, ask questions, and that of people will be dropping in that will have some knowledge of it other than myself. This week, I've just been on shift. I was on shift the last 3 nights. Got tonight off. Normally, I do have football training tonight, but with a bit of a sore back, I won't be going. So I do have a little bit more time tonight if we overrun. I did get offered, I did get offered a shift tonight, which I did consider doing. But like I say, with a bit of a bad back, I didn't in the end. And it was Mooning Soon. Hi, buddy. You all right? I did get offered a shift tonight, but with a bad back, I decided not to. And it was for a family that had been attacked over the last couple of months or over the last month. They just wanted a dog unit down there. And yeah, I did consider doing it. But 12 hours in a van at the moment doesn't appeal to me. The reason that I'm still able to do the site that I'm on is that I do have the cabin and that where I can chill out on like a chair. So it would have been interesting to do that shift because I haven't done like a shift that's at someone's actual house to protect people where there has been attacks recently. So I think that would have been interesting to do. But like I say, with my back at the moment, I don't feel like I could do that long in a van, especially. I mean, it is quite mild out there at the moment, but if it got as cold as it did Sunday night, I definitely would have been struggling. Sean, evening, mate. Your video will be coming on Saturday. So Sean is not the first person to ask for it, but Sean asked me to do like a review of my body cam. And even in the video, I called it a review, but since looking back at it, it's more of a demonstration of the of my body cam and also explaining like the features of it and things like that. And I put a few videos in there of me using it so you can see what the night mode is like. I do like a live push it so that you can see what it is like during good lighting as well. So yeah, on Saturday there will be a kind of review stroke demonstration of my body cam, which, like I say, a lot of people have asked. Sean asked for it the other day. I've been struggling a little bit with my videos to really get not excited about them, but where my shifts now, I'll go to work in the dark, I'll leave work in the dark. It's become a lot harder than it was in the summer to sort of film on site because the only light I really have is to do it in the cabin, which is why you'll see a lot of my videos lately of me sitting in the cabin. And I wanted to doing the body cam video is obviously good because of the night mode and things like that. I can do demonstrations on the outside. So I've been struggling a little bit in order to make videos I'm really happy with because of not being out and about and the dog not really being too involved. But on the flip side of that, the videos that I've been doing, I feel like I can get the information over a lot better and the information is more concentrated. So Sean, yeah, your video is coming on Saturday for the body cam. I think it's good. I think it's quite informative. And like I say, I'll give a few demonstrations so you can get a good look at the quality of it as well. Andy Llewellyn, hi mate, how you doing? Tom Bailey, hi mate, hope you're well. Just starting my shift, so I won't be here for long. Sorry, catch up on the video in the morning. No worries. Like I say, this as soon as this stream ends, It'll be up so you can view it after. KMKM, evening, mate. Porsche K9, hi, glad I made it this time. If this is your first time, then welcome. Like I say, any questions you got, just get it down in the chat, and there'll be different people that will be able to answer stuff. Morning soon. I've done homes a couple of times. Nothing happened though. Yeah, I mean, obviously people are targeted for different reasons, money reasons, items, things like that. And I think it would be interesting because obviously when the site that I'm on, I turn up and everyone leaves. It'd be quite interesting turning up to someone's home, kind of putting in, explaining to them what's going to happen throughout the shift, what they need to worry about, what they don't need to worry about. I mean, I kind of was thinking about it, even though I'm not doing a shift. I was kind of thinking about it and maybe putting in certain things like a password. If I'm out and about and I see someone walking about, they work out kind of like a password that someone can let me know that they're part of the household. Because it'd be quite easy, like 8 o'clock at night, that someone's gone out to go and do the bins, and I walk around the corner with the dog. Automatically, dog starts kicking off. I'd shout a challenge. It'd be good for them to be able to say like a password that they come up with, not one a password they come up with, so that I can stop the dog straight away and obviously defuse that situation. And then like just explaining like, yes, the dog is going to bark. Sometimes it's going to be foxes, different things like that. So don't worry about if you just hear the dog kicking off. If you hear the dog kicking off and me shouting, that's when I've spotted something, things like that. So I think it would have been quite interesting to do that shift, and I actually thought about it. And I think that would be interesting to do a shift where you know that the people you're protecting are there rather than the people that are paying you not being on site. So I'll say hopefully I'll be able to do that again. Well, I say hopefully not for them people, but hopefully I will be able to do something like that one day. Morning soon. Safe word, yeah. Safe word, password, yeah. So hopefully one day I'll get to be able to do that, and I think it would have been interesting. Like I say, it's just with my back at the moment, especially if it was cold, I really would have suffered, and I don't need to put myself through that at the moment. I only would have been for experience. Danny Rolfe, good evening, gentlemen and ladies. Sean, nice one, mate. I did end up buying that one you recommended, so the video will help out. Okay, so you got it anyway. Yeah, the body cam I've got is really good. It was recommended to me by experienced handlers before. Sorry, let me start that again. That body cam got recommended to me by experienced dog handlers when I first started, and they said, look, it's going to cost you more than what some others will, but it's well worth it. So like I say, in that video there'll be some stuff that you can look on there. It's so easy to work, things like that, but yeah, it'll be cool. UK Security 101, hey mate, how you doing? I know you're off shift. Hopefully you've got me on your 65-inch TV. I'm sure you've got something like that. Hopefully if you let me know if I'm getting too close to the camera for that TV, just let me know and I'll stand back a bit. Porsche K9, been watching your vids from day one. Just passed my SIA last week. Now I've got to get my dog ready for my team certificates. I'm aiming for the beginning of February. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. And congratulations on passing your SIA. How was your experience of the SIA? My experience is that because I had a security background going into it, I found it quite easy doing like the 3-day course before the test. I kind of knew a lot of the stuff, but I know there was a lot of people. That had to really concentrate if they never had a security background and things like that. And the test is just what every test is for me. It's very nervous. It's very making sure that I'm not making silly mistakes, things like that. But feeling quite comfortable about the answers that I'm giving. So congratulations on your SIA, and now you've got to get your dog ready for the team certificates. So there'll be lots of training. Make sure that you're doing your training outside your normal training hours. So if you do your training twice a week with an instructor, make sure that you're giving the dog an hour, 2 hours a day, or maybe 2 1-hour sessions a day, just doing little bits and pieces. That's the best way that I went around it. So when I was getting my dog ready for NASDO, things like that, is that I was going to training once, twice a week. And then I would put in an hour, maybe 2 1-hour sessions where I'll do some obedience with him. Sorry. Do some obedience with him, and then I'll do a bit of maybe protection work. I'll drag my dad out to do a bit of like speak on command and like standoff stuff, and any little bits that you can do away from training will always help as well. So good luck with all that. And if you're aiming for the beginning of February, if you pass on February 9th, that's my birthday. So try and pass around then, because that's a very lucky day. Daddy, sorry, and ladies. Remember, there is ladies in here as well. UK Security 101. No, you're looking pretty perfect on my TV, mate. Must have quite a small one, and I suppose you can't have HD TV if I'm looking pretty on it. Morning soon. I'm security. I'm security 101. If he jumps forward, you will poo. Porsche K9, not too bad. My tutor was excellent. Yeah, I found that with my SIA. Course instructor. She was great, and she kind of had experience of door work, security guard work, and had some experience of dog handling as well. Because when you go into your SIA, not everyone's there for dog handling, and not everyone's there for the same purpose. So they went round and asked, like, why are you getting your SIA license? And when I said I had the dog, and I was lucky because I'd done mine in some lockdowns, that I was doing mine on Zoom, and I was doing mine on the sofa, and every now and then the dog would pop up and be on my left shoulder or something like that. And I said I was going into the K9, and she said, oh yeah, she had done some K9 work before and things like that. And she said it was really what's the word? Like you're proud to do it because it's a really good thing to do. She said she really enjoyed it. UK field sports. Know any good working German Shepherd litters you can recommend? I can't say I do. I'm not really one for breeding lines, things like that. I know that when I look for my next dog or whatever comes next, that I will be leaning on other people, or I'll be getting recommendations from people I know or people that I trust, in order to say, look, these people do good pups or whatever it is. So morning soon, UK Field Sports, GSD of Kent. So GSD of Kent, for morning soon has said. Like I said, I have no idea, and I wouldn't want to give you any bad advice. So this is why it's good to have to ask them sort of questions in these lives, because there are people like Morning Soon who have ideas of things like that. UK Field Sports, where are you based? Are you based in the south, or are you elsewhere? Because obviously GSD of Kent is might not be very helpful if you're Manchester, Newcastle way. Where are we? UK Security 1. Not really. If he jumps forward, I will be a little bit concerned and start licking the screen. Right, Cam. I have a question, Michael. Does your company have public liability and all the insurance for you, or do you work self-employed basis for them? So I am PAYE. I am employed by Prestige. They have obviously all their insurances. They have everything that they need. Second part to that, as I understand that they are looking for staff, but all I need to do with is get myself a dog, just rather work for a company and not be self-employed. Less hassle trying to deal with the insurance, etc. So yeah, so Prestige are looking. I've always looked at it as I would rather be a PAYE. More to the fact that, like I say, it is less hassle, and obviously they have their insurances, things like that. But what you have to remember with your public liability is that the company's public liability insurance will only cover you whilst you're working. It won't cover you if you're down the park with your dog, or you're out down the beach or anything like that. So obviously it is good to have your own public liability to cover you outside working hours, but because like I say, Prestige's public liability will only cover me whilst I'm on site, whilst I'm working the dog. But I'll come back when we talk about the company's video from last Wednesday, because I didn't get one out. So when I talk about the company's video, I'm going to go into recruitment and different things like that. UK Fields, Cambridge, Peterborough to be exact. Danny Rolfe, Peterborough. What a dark place. I was born there. Yeah, so Peterborough's not a million miles away from Kent, is it? So morning, Portia. Danny Lyons is a good place to start looking for a good dog if you've got the pennies. Yeah, Danny Lyons has been mentioned in previous lives. So I don't know exactly. I've heard his name at training, and I've heard his name in different things. I'm not exactly sure what he does. I know he's a trainer, and he's a big part of I think like the NASDU. I think Danny is a big part of like the NASDU setup in terms of trainers, things like that. But yeah, I've got very limited knowledge on what he does in terms of breeding and things like that. But Cam, thanks, mate. You're a star. No worries. Danny Rolfe, tell me about it. No, UK Sportsfield. Danny, I'm getting confused here. Got Danny Rolfe, Danny Lyons. So Danny Rolfe, tell me about it. That's about Peterborough being dark. Danny Rolfe, yes, Danny Lyons, very good. And Danny is a Fletton boy. So let's just talk a little bit about the video that was out last Wednesday. So that was my company's video, and I feel like that was a video I wanted to do just to explain about why I work for Prestige, the reasons that I enjoy working for them. I know that in the comments of that video, a couple of people said that Jeff hasn't got a good reputation in the industry, and the only thing I can say to that is he's been great with me ever since I've been there. He's never complained about anything I've done. He's never asked me to do anything I didn't want to do. He's just been a really nice guy since I've been there. Obviously, I explained in that video that me and Lou, the managing director, we go back sort of 6-7 years, and we're good friends. So I'm not saying that people have had bad run-ins with Jeff, but what I'm saying is that it's possibly handler specific. I'm not saying that the handlers that have had problems with him are bad. What I'm saying is that maybe they haven't had the same relationship with him coming into the company, and then maybe something happened early that's kind of fractured that relationship. So all I can say is that Jeff has been a great guy for me. Like I say, he's never asked me to do anything I didn't want to. He's never complained about anything that I do. He supports the YouTube stuff that I do. He's never complained. He's never asked me to. He's never put a restriction on what I can do, what I can't do. Now, you'll probably be a fool to think that I would have posted that video without asking Lou to watch it first, because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to offend anyone at Prestige. Obviously, mentioning their names, I wanted to make sure that he was happy with it. So I sent it to him like the day before, and he just turned around and said, "Yeah, that's great. You can post that." And he trusts me anyway, so it doesn't. I very much doubt he would have said anything. So that video was about working for Prestige, why I do it. I think it's good to be transparent about the reason that I work for Prestige, and one of the main things that was in there. So I was speaking to someone through Instagram the week before, and they was talking about trying to find a company or like trying to get into the industry, and the options part of that video I feel is the nugget of experience that you'll want to know. So the options of, right, I haven't got a dog, I want to become a security dog handler. How do I go about that? Now, there are different sections. I've said in there, there's the static work, there's the mobile work. There's all different parts of that, of working in a security, that you can do whilst training a dog. I've had lots of people come to me and say, look, I'm working. Let's one example. I can't remember who it was. One example. He's a lorry driver, or he drives lorries. Now he's got a dog, and he's going to try and train it up, but he's going to continue working on the lorries until he feels his dog's ready to go for its NASDU, and then he'll get his license and then go through the NASDU. And what I was saying in that video is that you can join a team, a security team, and become like a mobile driver for X amount of time. And you can work the night mobile. So you might be doing 6 p.m. till 6 a.m., doing mobile patrols, things like that. And then training your dog from maybe, 7 until 10, 11 o'clock, going to sleep for 5-6 hours, then going again. It's not a case that you have to come into the industry and the only thing that you can do is work as a dog handler. You can progress through it, because at the end of the day, I see dog handling as a progression from mobile or static work. So you'll get the experience of being a static or a security guard or a mobile patroller, and then you progress into doing that with a dog. So I think that's the important thing to take away from that video. It's not about my story of why I work for Prestige, mine and Lou's story, things like that. I think the interesting part of that video is understanding that if you're not in security and you want to be a security dog handler, it's not the only option to whilst you're training your dog, or you don't have to work at Tesco's whilst you're waiting to do it. Get into a company early and say, look, this is my plan. I want to be a mobile driver for 6 months, because for 6 months I'm going to train my dog up to be a security dog. So I want to do like 6 months of mobile work, and then I want to join your dog section. And any good company should see that as someone that's ambitious, that's someone that is going to put the effort in for them 6 months as a mobile driver, because they want to continue into that company. So I think that's just an important part of that, and maybe something that people don't understand that as an option. People don't look at it and think, oh, I wasn't thinking about going down that route because I haven't got a dog. So if that helps a couple of people, then that's great. But like I say, it's just about putting maybe a different option down there to what they was thinking, and less about my story with Prestige, because the video's not about me really. Danny Rolfe, I think you should listen to everything and say nothing. Go on how people treat you and what you experience is of them. Yeah, I think that's important, because a lot of the comments that I see, not so much about, maybe some about Jeff or about other people. I mean, I don't want to bring Jeff's name into anything. I don't want to start any arguments, but a lot of the comments that I see about that, or people that I've heard say stuff, is that people start it with "I've heard," or it's not something that they've had one-to-one reasons with. It's that, oh, one of one of my good friends that's a dog handler has had a bad run-in with him before, and it kind of gets around like that. And like you say, Danny, I think that everyone just needs to take it as face value. And like I say, my face value with Jeff has always been great. And apart from being an Arsenal fan, I think he's an all-round really nice guy. Porsche K9, do Prestige have any work near Dorset? Trying to find work in the southwest seems very difficult. Now, Porsche K9, this is where I'm going to give you a nice little tip. Let me get it in front of me. So everyone, you all know UK Security 101 has been a big part of this channel. Normally in the lives, he's boss of Poseidon. Hold on, let me get this in front of me because otherwise I'm going to mess this up. Right, so Poseidon K9. I've messed that up already. Right, I got a message from UK Security 101 today, and Poseidon Safety Management. So they are in Cornwall and Devon. They may go up to Dorset. So Poseidon Safety Management. Poseidon are always looking for highly motivated individuals to join our team and help keep Devon and Cornwall safe. Please email info@poseidonsafety.co.uk with a copy of a CV and covering letter. So Poseidon Safety Management have some openings for static and dog handlers. Now, once this stream has ended, I will put down some links to their websites. I'll put down the information that I've got here. If you're interested in the southwest, if you're looking to become a dog handler, or you're looking to change companies as a dog handler or as a static guard, then Poseidon Safety Management have an opportunity for you. So Porsche K9, I hope that could work out for you. Like I say, UK Security 101 that's in these chats. He, and also I'll put down his Instagram if you want to contact him through there. He messaged me today and said, look, can you just give us a shout out? Because obviously in my company's video, I've said that Prestige have got mobile patrol and dog handling jobs available. So Poseidon Safety Management have got dog handling and static guard job openings available if anyone wants to do it. Like I say, in the down below will be like I say, their website. I'll put UK Security 101's Instagram down there and the information. So like I say, info@Poseidon, which is POSEIDON safety.co.uk for CVs and covering letters, and hopefully that will work out. UK Security 101, in all honesty, guys, it's an excellent company, probably the best I've worked for in the 10 years in the industry. And the reason that I agree, two reasons that I agreed to do that is Poseidon is southwest, where I'm southeast. So it's obviously not a competitor in terms of geography, but also because UK Security 101 and Poseidon themselves have been part of my lives. They've been part of my videos, and the dealings that I've had with them, they've been really good part of this channel. So it's nice that I can maybe give them something back, like a shout out for obviously them needing handlers and static guards. So yeah, Porsche K9, make sure you speak to them. It's even worth a chat. If you've got Instagram, UK Security 101, go into his direct messaging, just message him, even if it's just worth a chat. There was someone else that was down that way. Got a feeling he was like Southampton. He was he was in the army, wanting to become a handler, and he was asking me about jobs, and I sent him to UK Security 101 and said, look, speak to him. He's possibly more down your way. Even if you, Poseidon, don't cover where you want to work, Porsche, there's a better chance that they're going to know someone around the Dorset area that they maybe even can pass you on to. Because although I'm in the southeast, even if Prestige don't cover, let's say, Sussex or London or whatever it is, we may know someone that does cover it, that can help you out. So even if Poseidon don't cover where you want to work, maybe they've got someone in Dorset that they know that maybe you can speak to as well. Well, where do I get to? Morning soon. I agree. Roll far too many snakes, or send a dog to what's that? Or send a dog to a recommended trainer. Yeah, that's also something that you can do. You can send a dog to a recommended trainer whilst you continue working. But like I said, Aaron said in his interview, that sometimes it's good to get it's good to get some experience working as a static guard and as a patrol driver, getting used to working maybe nights if you're not used to it, or used to dealing with members of the public of all different types. And normally as a static guard, it's normally not someone that's gonna come there and want to commit an offence. So I'll stop being able to talk. They're not coming to commit an offence, but maybe someone that you just need to deal with that's getting a bit high rate. So maybe at a low level, you're starting to deal with the people that maybe you'll be dealing with later on in your career, when they're more looking to commit a crime and to do damage. So, but yeah, sending the dog to a recommended trainer as well. That's also another route that you can go down. Don't involve, keep out of it, turn up, do your work, and go home. My take on work life. I think that's the most important thing, isn't it? And I think that's possibly why Prestige Prestige like me as a handler, because I just turn up, do my work. Very rarely do I need to talk to them outside working hours. Every now and then I will, but they just trust that I'm going to turn up. I know my routine. They know my routine, so they just go, right, okay, he's going to turn up. He's not going to miss. He's not going to go missing. So yeah, just turn up, do your shift, go home, go there the next day. Self-employed, so never needed to send CV. It's morning soon. Right, KM. Shame Security 101 doesn't cover West Yorkshire, as I live in WF9. He seems like a top lad and not up himself. Well, he's not. I'd say UK Security 101's not up himself publicly, but what he sends me on WhatsApp is a bit up himself. But no, I'm joking. No, UK Security 101 side, and they seem like really down to earth, honest people. I know that they spoke to each other when they realised they both followed me, and one of the things that they kind of bonded on in terms of my channel is that they liked how honest I was about everything. And I think only people that are as honest, only people that are as honest as I am, can appreciate the honesty that I'm giving out in terms of the industry. I think people that aren't as honest as I am don't appreciate that much. I mean, I've always said that there's a line that I won't cross in terms of sort of what I would give out, but in terms of, I think I go a little bit further than most on social media or YouTube, whatever it is, in terms of giving like the real life side of the job, and hopefully that's what everyone's buying into. Crypto World, good sir, like your videos, very useful. Thank you very much. I did get I got a comment on my how much video today of a lady that's going to be going into security, and she thanked me for the how much video, said it's been very useful, and that's a lot of the comments I get. I'd say that my comments in my videos are probably 90%, 10% in favor of good. Get the odd bad one, normally about bites, but I'm not really worried about that. And they're normally, I'd say they're a good split of maybe 60-40 in favour of like people coming into the industry, looking for information, new handlers, things like that. But I feel like we're starting to get some more experienced handlers coming in. We all seem to be on a similar kind of wavelength or mindset of how the job should be done. I mean, it's always easy to pretend that you're the kind of handler you are, and I'm not going to say that anyone does this in our bit of a community. It's always nice to say, yeah, well, I'm exactly the same, but only you yourself can know if you are doing and putting the effort in as much as everyone else. And even if my channel just makes people do that little bit extra on each shift and things like that, it really does go a long way. So one of the things, maybe the title of this live that I wanted to put out there was impressions. So impressions is quite a broad subject, and I heard of a story the other day that maybe some people might want to hear. It's not a bad story, but it's the impression that a security officer made on a client that ended up causing a bigger problem than it probably needed. So there was your channel makes me do less at work. I'm too busy watching you. Well, don't say that. Right, so there was a story that I heard the other day, and it was about a security dog handler, and he turned up to site on the Friday, and so obviously he's taken over from the manager for the weekend or however long that dog handler was going to work. And basically how the story goes is that the client wasn't too impressed with how the dog handler turned up in terms of his attitude to wanting to be there, in terms of his attitude of talking to the client and making sure that he'd understood everything that he needed to do, etc., etc. So basically the story goes that he turned up, the client wasn't happy with the dog handler's attitude and his kind of impression of that dog handler. And then over the weekend, they had some workers in and things like that. And like one of the mornings that the workers turned up, they had to wake up the security dog handler in order to get in. And then on the Monday, so obviously the client's seen him on the Friday. Clients come back on the Monday to find beer cans in one of the bins at site. Now, obviously, with lots of people being on site over that weekend, it could have been absolutely anyone. The person that got the blame for it was the dog handler, and the reason that the client blamed the dog handler was for the impression that he had of the dog handler when the only time he met him on the Friday, and the stories that they heard of having to wake him up in order to let them in over the weekend. So let's just break that down a little bit. So the only reason that the site manager has pinpointed the dog handler is possibly because he didn't like the impression that he got off the dog handler on that day. And because of that and stories, the person that the site manager could pinpoint it at was the dog handler and the security. So think about that in terms of the impressions that you give out and how that can affect everything that happens on that site now. I believe I've heard that site might start doing breathalyzing of security officers. So that one security officer that was there that one day has now affected every dog handler that goes on there. Now, every dog handler that turns up should be clean before and after shift. So it shouldn't be a problem. But now all the dog handlers that are on that site are now under the spotlight because of that one dog handler. But I'm not saying that dog handler was drinking on site. there are people there over the weekend. So maybe one of the work vans has emptied their van into one of them bins before leaving on the Saturday that had empty cans from Friday night or whatever it is. So it could have been a number of people, but because of the impression that dog handler gave to the client, it's now put all the dog handlers on that site under the radar and under the magnifying glass of everything that goes on. So everything that happens now is automatically firstly going to be looked at the security team before the workers or anyone else that's on that site. So it's one of them things with impressions, and there may be other stories that people have heard about impressions that have backfired on security dog handlers. But I look at that, if that dog handler had turned up on the Friday, gone and spoken to the site manager, said, hi, how you doing, etc., got on, cracked on with his job whilst the manager was there, gave a good first impression, I don't feel like the Monday morning the finger would have been pointed at the security team straight away. It would have been like, who has done this, who's been here, and then everyone would have got questioned. Now, it's obvious that whoever done it is going to point the finger at someone else. So possibly the workers are going to blame the security team are going to blame the workers. No one's really going to hold their hands up to it. So it's all about giving good first impressions, because it might not be you that it affects. It may be the next dog handler that gets the stick for it, or it might be the regular handlers that are there, that they're the ones that are going to get the radar put on them, and now they're under pressure to make sure that nothing gets left out of place, make sure they're always keeping everything tidy, because otherwise it looks bad on the security team, and it's all because of possibly one dog handler giving a bad first impression when he turned up to site. Morning soon. Heard of a shed loads of handlers been woken up at gates. It's that old UK security one. It's that old saying, first impressions count. Morning soon. Old saying, face don't fit sometimes. Yeah. I mean, I've heard of some absolutely ridiculous stories about dog handlers and security officers being woken up. Someone told me once that someone turned up to give the site check on the dog handler and give the site a bit of a once over just to make sure everything was fine. Was outside the gate, bibbing on the horn, trying to gain access, and the dog handler was nowhere to be seen. So the person that turned up to site jumped over the fence, went walking through the site, absolutely nothing, no sign of the dog handler anywhere, nothing like that. Went over to the dog vehicle, looked into the back of the vehicle where the dog was. Dog didn't react, so I thought that's a bit weird. Went round to the front, banged on the window, and the dog handler's asleep in the front seat. So the dog handler puts his window down, and he's like, you all right? He said, yeah. He said, what are you up to? And he said, I was just I'm just looking after the site. He went, yeah, I know, I'm your boss. So he goes, right, get out. So the dog handler opens the car door. He's in a sleeping bag, so has to unzip the sleeping bag, which is in some terms not the worst thing. If it's cold and you have to keep warm, sometimes a sleeping bag is good. So they unzips the sleeping bag, gets out in his pajamas. It turned up to site in his work gear. Once everyone had gone, after a certain time, got into his pajamas, got into the sleeping bag, and then was just asleep in the car, and swore blind that his dog would wake him up if someone walked on site, which all of that got obviously debunked. And I'm reasonably sure he got sacked after that. So yeah, woke him up and he was in his pajamas in a sleeping bag. Another one that I heard is, I think it was the same person, not the same person visiting site, went onto a site, went into the cabin, sat down, got his laptop out, started typing. After 10 minutes, knocked a cup, and the security officer that was 10 foot from him, woke up in a blind panic that someone was breaking in, and it was his boss had been sitting there on the computer for 10 minutes and walked through sight and just sat in there with him whilst he was asleep. So yeah, it's not, it does happen, and that's why I say a lot about that. They're bad impressions. They're obvious bad impressions, and especially when it affects clients, if it's your boss that catches you, it's bad. If it's the client that catches you, it is so much worse. And that's why I've said about working, when you working like this, you have to manage your sleep and your life outside work to make sure that when you go to work, you are on top form. You can stay awake for 12, 15 hours, whatever it is, that you make sure that you manage your life outside of that, then 12, 15 hours, to make sure that you are fit to go there. And don't do something stupid like get comfortable and end up falling asleep. I mean, I've said in other videos before, I know it's difficult sometimes, and sometimes you may just need 10 minutes. That's not the worst thing, but make sure it is just then 10 minutes. If you no other choice than to do it. But like I say, it's them kind of impressions are obviously bad. You can get sacked for them very easily, but it's always so much worse if it's the client that catches you than just your boss. Right, where was we? You have to remember, guys, when you're dealing with a client, that security is a grudge purchase. No one wants them, but they need to. So don't give them any excuses to turn up looking. No excuses. Turn up looking professional and ready. And that's, I've said before. It changes a little bit now because of how muddy and how wet everything is. But when I turn up, I have to change into my boots. But now I always turn up. I look ready. As soon as I turn up, I change my boots in the van. I get out, and I'm more or less, other than my high vis, I'm more or less ready to work. And that's the impression that you want to give people, that you turn up and you are ready to work. You don't turn up and need to go and get changed, or you look like you've been running late and just grabbed everything as you walked out the door. And again, that's all part of managing your outside life. Making sure you've got enough time to get ready, making sure that you give yourself enough time to have good sleep, and things like that. So, yeah, looking ready is a great first impression when you turn up, and making sure, even impressions of like making sure your dog's groomed. I've been grooming my dog every day this week. Not that I obviously do it regularly anyway, but making sure you keep on top of grooming, things like that, especially this time of year when their coats are changing and they can get a little bit scruffy if they're not groomed regularly. That's a good first impression as well. Making sure your dog looks ready to work. There's no point in you looking in the business and then getting the dog out and the dog's got loads of fluff hanging off of him and the dog looks scruffy. That's not a good impression. But that would be a bad impression of you as a dog owner rather than a dog handler. As a dog handler, you look ready, but as a dog owner, you don't look ready because your dog doesn't look like it's groomed, doesn't look like it's looked after. So there's different kind of impressions. And like I said, when you're dealing with clients, your first impression should be the same as you do for the first as a job interview. The same as a job interview, you should be taking it that seriously every day. Every day I go and meet the client. Every day I act as if it's a job interview for the first time. Speak to them. Hi, how you doing? How's everything going? Etc. Etc. And then obviously, like I say, if you give good first impressions, I've never felt like anything that happens on site, even some of the most annoying stuff of dog mess being left on the site. As soon as I turn up, and I do a patrol, now if I find it, I'll pick it up, put it in the bin. But there's been times where dog handlers have left it on site and the clients found it. Not myself, I'm going to say that. That impression of leaving dog mess around is just an absolute nightmare because it's so unneeded. And I don't feel like there's any excuse for it, because you can say, oh, I didn't have a bag. Okay, you didn't have a bag. Go get a bag, come back, clean it up straight away. Don't forget. Or they say, oh, I've run out of bags. Not an excuse. The only excuse that you could possibly give is that I didn't realise the dog had done it. Now, my argument to that is, if you don't know that your dog's done a crap, what was you doing whilst that was happening? Dogs, it doesn't take a dog a second to do that. It takes dogs 15 seconds, 20 seconds to have a crap. What was you doing in them 15 seconds that you didn't realise what your dog was doing? Your dog is the one that you look at to indicate for people, to indicate for noises, whatever it is. So although you should be keeping an eye on the sight or keeping an eye on what's in front of you, you should always have one eye on the dog, because the dog will tell you before you know that someone's on site. So there should be no excuse for leaving mess. And that is one of the worst ones, when you get a call from your boss, client's stepped in dog crap, he ain't happy, what's happened, etc. So yeah, that's one of the worst first impressions I could, even as a dog handler to dog handler, that's the worst impression I can get off of a dog handler, someone that leaves mess. You could turn up and you could look a little bit scruffy, you could look a little bit disinterested, and yes, my impression of you might not be great, but you could be a really good handler and leave dog mess on the site, and my impression of you is so much worse than someone that turns up a bit scruffy. Trash Panda 13 UK, slightly different to your line of work, but any advice for someone getting into close protection work? I don't know too much about that. I tell you who is good, and he's commented on it already, is UK Security 101. He's Army, well, he was Army. He's done close protection work. So UK Security 101. He's on Instagram. You can direct message him, or you can put in the chat here. Speak to him. He will know. He knows about close protection, because I'm 90% sure he said to me that he done close protection before getting into what we're doing now. So yeah, he's the best person to talk to. UK Security 101. Morning soon. Woke loads myself. Walked around the vehicle. Dog snoring. These people don't dog detection training. Morning soon. Detection is just as important as protection. The detection is just as important, if not more important, because the detection of an individual, of a threat, gives you preparation. That gives you a chance to prepare yourself for possibly what's about to happen. It gives you thinking time. The earlier that your dog can detect on something going on, gives you the most amount of time for you to prepare about what's possibly about to happen. So yeah, obviously protection. I've said this before. Look, biting is an absolute last resort. I do the bite training. It's not the top thing that I want my dog to be good at. I want him to be good enough to protect me, but I don't need him to try and kill someone. And it is important. The detection is just as important. And I've just seen you put train cage detection, and that's as important as obviously the other detection. So when we're talking about cage detection, so in one of my videos, I think it's the 24 hours with us, you'll hear my dog in the back of the van kicking off, and every day, every morning he does that. He does that on site a lot, and basically what cage detection is that when the dog's in the cage, it can be sound, obviously movement. My dog does it on smell as well. So I'm going to throw a couple of examples out. I'll throw a couple of examples of why my dog barks. So my dog barks in the morning. So when someone turns up to the gate and he sees me walk past the van towards the gate, and he hears the tyres coming in towards the gate, he barks then from the cage. So he barks then. As I let them in and they drive into the site, he starts barking a lot louder, a lot more aggressive when the vehicle is close to mine. So I walk past and say, all right, mate, that's fine. Dog stops. I go and put the key wherever I need to go and put the key. and the site manager that I've got at the moment, he sits in his car. He opens up the door, shuts the car door. Dog starts going off again. Bark, 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 bark. I say, all right, mate, that's fine. He kind of stops. Maybe a few barks, kind of stops because he can hear the person walking. So there's a couple of little barks. I say morning. As soon as that person talks to me, all hell breaks loose in the back of the van. It's full blast protection barking, rah rah rah. That won't stop until the dog sees me. If I go and open up the back of the van and he sees me, then he kind of calms it down. If that manager comes within eye shot of him, he will start barking again, and it will be protection barking. It will be not hitting the cage, but it will be the head bouncing off the top of the cage, barking as if he really means it. And the reason that I say he does it on smell, so I've had times where I've had 3 or 4 people on site. So 2 people have turned up. He's had a go at them, rah, rah, rah. Absolutely fine. He calms down. They can then walk around with me, and he may have a bark. He's not too bad because he knows their smell. He knows he's seen them already, and I haven't reacted on it. So then someone else will turn up and park, I don't know, 40 yards away. So the dog can't see him. The dog hasn't really heard him. He then walks up past the van and the dog will start kicking off because the smell of that person is different to all the other smells of the people that he smelled already. So, like I say, there's a few different demonstrations of that. If he sees me going towards the gate or he hears car tires pulling up to the gate, he starts. Not too vicious. He just starts. When the car comes in and gets close to my vehicle, that's when he starts getting a little bit more aggressive. He'll stop. When the car door shuts, it'll set him off again. When the person talks, it'll set him off even worse. When he sees the person, he will go into full protection barking from the cage. And also, if he can't see them and he can't hear them, but he can smell something different to what's been on that site already, he will start barking then. So that's sort of cage detection, and that's an important part of it. Now, a lot of security dog handlers, what they will do is that they will park with the back of the van pointing at the front gate with the doors open, or with the back of the van pointing at the most valuable item on site, the one thing that cannot get stolen. Let's, for argument's sake, say a digger. So they will point the back of the van at that, because the dog will see, smell, hear everything so much quicker than obviously you will. Now, obviously, the quicker that the dog detects on that gives you the most preparation for you to get out of the van, get the dog, and prepare yourself for what's possibly about to happen. If your dog sees that person but doesn't react, he won't. Then you're obviously not notified. If that person starts coming to the back of the van, if that person is now 10 foot from the back of the van before the dog reacts, they can obviously get to the van doors to shut it before you can get out of the van. Now you're stuck without a dog. You obviously have emergency exits for the dog, but if you can't get to them, you're now stuck without a dog. Now you've either got to take that person one-on-one, or them people you've got to take on, or you've just got to lock yourself in and hope that they don't get in. I'll hope that they don't take the dog, because now you're knackered with no dog. So the earlier that dog can notify you of something happening, the quicker you can react on it and prepare yourself for what's about to happen. So yeah, that's an important part of the case detection. And some people see it as aggressive. Like I had a plumber come around today because there's the smallest issue ever with my boiler. So he pushed on the doorbell, dog's gone off. I said to him, just give me a sec. I just want to put the dog in the van. So I got hold of the dog. I slung the dog in the van, left the doors cracked so that he had some air. And my neighbours, who are used to him now, they've walked out, gone past the van. He's gone into one, full protection, van's rocking, etc. They understand that that's his job. They're not threatened by it. Then after that, 2 delivery guys turned up. I was in here, all of a sudden, all hells and bells have gone again. Looked out there and there's 2 delivery drivers just standing there like, Jesus. And people see that as aggressive, but as a security dog, that's the difference between you being able to get out of the van and get to your dog before they get to you, and them getting to the dog first. So, and the way in which some people have done that is that, well, I suppose the way in which I kind of done it is I got people to go up to the cage. I don't know whether this is the right way to go about it, so don't quote me on this as such. But I got strangers or people at training just to go up to the back of the cage and start making noises at him and banging the front of the cage, getting a reaction. And then when he starts reacting, say, "Good boy, yeah, that's it, good boy." And then that is now moved on to, he feels like if he doesn't warn them, they're going to come and start banging on the front of the cage. That doesn't mean that I can't have him out after that and he'll be absolutely fine with everyone. What he's got in his head is that if he lets them people come up to his cage, they're going to start banging on it, and he doesn't like it because then he feels not a little bit trapped. That's possibly the worst thing to say about it, but that's the way in which we went about it, doing sort of like the protection noises, the other side of the cage, making the dog react up to the cage, and then me telling him, "A good boy, that's what I want from you." There's possibly different ways to go about it. I know that the one of the funniest things I saw is my trainer has a big long broomstick, and on the top of it, he's got a mannequin head attached to it with a balaclava. And basically, what that is that you can hide down, let's say where your petrol cap is. So you can hide down there so the dog can't see you. And then basically you can poke the mannequin's head around the corner towards the dog's cage and then getting the dog to react. That's one of the funniest things I've seen, to see people hidden down by their car, just putting this mannequin head round and just banging it on the cage, making the dog react to it. But yeah, that's the way that's the way in which I kind of went around it. I can't remember because it's probably over a year ago. Yeah, it's about over a year ago that we started that, and I can't remember exactly how we done it, but I'm pretty sure that I got someone to bang on the front of the cage to make the dog react, and then when he done it, I told him he's a good boy. And now it's got to the stage where anyone that's walking around, he warns off so that they don't come and bang on his cage, and that's kind of the trigger that we've got. But then also with the protection side, that the dog wants to protect me, and if the dog can't get to me, his reaction is to warn that person that if they do start something and I get to the dog, that you're in trouble. So there is the protection side that will bring that on, but I think the initial part of that was just banging on the cage, getting the dog to react, and telling him he was a good boy. I trained my dogs for car beeps. Yeah, so there's noises, things like that. I think my dog does. Most people don't beep, so because I can see, because I know more or less, definitely the first few people, because I know everyone's routine of what time they roughly get there. Because of where my site is quite remote. When I see the lights at between this certain time, so between, let's say, 6 and 6:05, if I see a set of headlights, I'm already preparing myself, walking down towards the gate, because I know that's what time that person's going to turn up at site. So they don't really beep, because by the time they get to the gate, I'm already within. They can already see my torch, or they can already see me walking towards them. So, but yeah, car beeps as well. You've got a great dog, buddy. Yeah, I mean, it's always easy to say all the good things that happen. He does have his times where I just sometimes I just think I can't deal with him because like he can just be an absolute arse, and he knows he's doing it as well, and he just tests me. He is a good dog, and like I say, he's not the most aggressive dog that you're ever gonna come across in security, but he does the job. He does the job to the best of his ability, and it's more than enough for me. I know there's not a lot of people on site that want to mess around with him. I know there's a lot of people, my friends and that know him, that understands that when he turns into protection mode, they know that they don't want to mess around with him either. So even people that see the soft side of him don't want to mess with him when he's in protection mode, which is all I want. All I want from my dog is that people think don't want to mess around with him, and a lot of that is to do with the car detection, or like the van detection. So when he's in the back of the van, I've already done 75% of the job, because a lot of the people on my site have not really seen him out. So occasionally I'll get him out to go for a wee or whatever it is before we leave, and a few people have been around when I've had him out, and their opinion on whether they want to mess around with him has all been from when he's in his cage. So yeah, he's, like I say, he's a great dog. He has his moments where he tests me, and he's an absolute pain in the arse and things like that. But overall, he is good. So this is why I said I would like to see you as a trainer. Yeah, that is a possibility. I'd like to work towards being a trainer. But a lot of the things that you've seen from me is all stuff that I've picked up at training. And this is why I say when I was doing my NASDO training and things like that, I concentrated and just tried to soak in as much as I could and tried to remember as much as I could. The girlfriend actually bought me a diary that I should have done. I should have kept a diary of everything that I'd done and things like that. But I didn't. But I've got a decent memory for a lot of stuff that I've done. So yeah, I can't take too much recognition for sort of the training techniques, because it's just stuff that I was taught when I was there. But yeah, like I say, I think I know enough. I don't know enough to be a trainer, but I know enough for certain things like that to get reactions out of dogs in cages and things like that. It's just like simple little tips, but a lot of it is kind of using your not common sense, but kind of understanding how the dog thinks. So if you let's say that you're in your house and you stand at the window every day, and someone walks past and you just don't bat an eyelid. You say, okay, that guy's just walks past. If you're standing at a window and someone walked past and they banged on the window in front of you every day, the next time that person walks past, you're going to be ready for it. And before they do it, you're going to say to them, don't bang on my window. And that's what the dog's reaction is to the cage. If you walk up, bang on the cage, it's someone banging on your window in front of you. So the next time someone comes, before they get the chance to bang on that cage, you're going to tell them, don't bang on my cage. So it's kind of understanding how the dog sees it, maybe from an experience that you can explain through a human's eyes. But like I say, I can't take any recognition for any training techniques. It's just stuff that I've seen or some information that I've taken in. UK Security 101, morning soon. Completely agree with you, mate. He should make a good trainer because he has the passion for the job, and it's not all about the money. No, it's never been about the money for me. Everything that I've done with the YouTube, with getting into the security dog industry, has never been about the money. It'd obviously be nice to earn money doing the YouTube and things like that, but that would be just to be able to give more content. Obviously, all of my content that I do is based on the industry, so there's no point in me, if I started earning money doing YouTube, there'd be no point in me giving up working the dog, because then all of my content would be gone. So it's never been about the money. It's always been about helping and maybe getting some information out there, building a community. I like to have a community that we can have chats about different things. And like I say, it is more just about helping people. And I feel like I am quite a people person. So although when you become a trainer, you're training, people think that when you go security dog training is that the trainer is training the dog. So the trainer is not training the dog. The trainer is training you as the handler how to train that dog. And that's something that was said to me very early on. My trainer said, I'm not here to train your dog. I'm here to train you how to train your dog. And it's up to you to put the effort in if that dog's going to get any better. A lot of security dogs, so a handler can't just walk over, take the lead and start doing it because the dog will nail them. So you have to, the role of the trainer is to show you how to train the dog. Then you do the work and you do the work outside the hours in order to bring that dog on. So that's what I mean about, it's not about the money. It's always about building community, helping people. And even if you go into being a trainer, you're in it to help people. You're helping people, teach them how to teach their dog to do certain stuff. As a trainer, obviously, as a decoy or whatever it is, you have to do that side of it. But in terms of the actual training, you're never training the dog. You're training the handler how to train the dog. Have you noticed that NASDO trainers don't train cage detection? It's not part of the, I don't know what the word is, like the course. It's not part of something that you have to learn. I think possibly this comes back to the dogs protecting an area. So if you're teaching your dog that when he's in the van and he's in the cage, to whenever someone walks past, to hit that cage and let them know and let you know that they're there. Trying to take that into home life. So let's say now you're now home and you've let the dog out into the garden. Someone walks past your front fence. The dog runs up to the front fence and smashes into it because he wants to warn that person. That is now under the Dangerous Dogs Act, threatening behaviour, and that member of the public could feel threatened and report that dog. So you have to look at it is that do NASDO want to push forward dogs threatening people when they're not on a lead or not needed to do protection work? Because after that, when the dog goes home, the dog may not see the difference between being in a cage and seeing the fence as the boundary. So I think they have to be careful. And maybe that's why they don't teach it. Syllabus is the word I'm looking for. Thank you very much. The NASDO syllabus. Poseidon, thank you for the shout out for staff. It is much appreciated. Sorry for being late to the video out on alarm calls in storm. That's all right, mate. Yeah, that's not a problem. If you watch this video back, like I say, you've been in my lives, you've been commenting on my videos. So anything that I can do to help you promote some stuff like that, I'm perfectly happy to. I said earlier, Prestige don't see you as a competitor in terms of geography. So they won't mind, and you've been a help, and obviously Aaron's been a good help as well. Porsche K9, hi Poseidon. Yeah, so Porsche K9 is going to get in touch with you. She's from Dorset. Porsche's from Dorset. I've put her on to yourself and Aaron in terms of becoming a security dog handler. She's just done her SIA and is looking at NASDO as early February, I think it was. So I've told her to come and speak to you to see about a possible job. If not, then maybe someone that's in her area that you can maybe recommend. So, like I say, it's I've put her on to you because she's down Dorset way. So if you can help her out, that would be much appreciated. And even if, like I say, even if it's not with yourselves, if it's someone she can trust, that would be much appreciated. Right, Portia, look forward to hearing from you. If I can't help, I'll be able to point you in the right direction, which is exactly what we need. Poseidon's safety management, that's bad, boss. Oh, I assume you're talking about he doesn't like leaving Cornwall anymore. Mind you, that must be pretty windy down there. She's a he, Portia K9. Really? I do. That come across really badly, didn't it? Portia. So why? So what is Portia? Is that a nickname? Is that a name? I don't know. I thought Portia was like not a woman's nickname, but I do apologise for that. That's so awkward, isn't it? That is so awkward. I'm so sorry. Nine 911. Oh no, 911. What am I saying that for? 911. Porsche 911. Is it something to do with a car? Yeah, there is no digging myself out of that, is there? There is no digging myself. That's one of my dogs. Is the dog a male or a bitch? Please clear this up. The dog. So the YouTube channel is named after your dog. Is the dog a male or a bitch? There will be an article in the news about the dog handling industry assuming gender now. Oh, it was always going to happen. There was always going to be a day when I stuck my foot in it on a live. There we go. There. See, I've been let off the hook. I've been let off the hook. Oh, no, I didn't do that. No. Oh, hold on. Oh, that's an absolute nightmare. I've just pressed hide instead of show. So Porsche K9 just admitted to me in the chat that Porsche is a bitch. So it is a girl's name. I wasn't getting it wrong because he's named the channel after his bitch dog. There we go. But I've had an absolute nightmare and I've held it for a view. Let me be able to. Oh, should I pin that? Can you see that? You must be able to see that now that where it says she's a bitch. Please say you can. So I've had an absolute shocker there. So I was right. I call a few things after my bitch, but it was. I call a few things after my bitch, but she was a proper bitch of an ex-wife. So this has seriously gone downhill, isn't it? Now you've called him a bitch. This is why I don't do more than an hour of a live, because we're an hour and 18 minutes in and all hell has broke loose with gender assumptions, which I was correct. I will have that. I'll have that as being correct. He's named it Porsche K9 after his bitch dog. So I was right to say that Porsche is a bitch, but not the owner of the YouTube channel, the dog. Not calling the owner of the YouTube channel a bitch. He's a very nice guy who is going to contact Poseidon Safety Management for a job in the Devon and Cornwall area. They have positions open for dog handling and statics. Anyone that wants to, they should be contacting info@poseidonsafety.co.uk. Have I got that back on track now? Firstly, I blame the number 10 illegal Christmas party for all this gender assuming that is going on in here. Maybe I should do this half hour early. Maybe I should do this at 6:30 normally, and then we'll do an hour sensible stuff, and then anyone that doesn't want to be part of the part of the messing around stuff can leave at 7:30, and then we can do 7:30 till 8 of absolute carnage live streaming. Porsche K9, yeah, all cool. I laugh so much. Well, at least we're only talking male and female. So has anyone got anything? What is it? Hour and 20. So we'll go for another 10 minutes because there's some football on as well. We'll go for another 10 minutes. Is there anything that anyone wants to have a chat about? So my last video was the company's video. Went down reasonably well. It was one of my quickest videos. So obviously not as a big YouTube channel. Obviously not as a big YouTube channel in terms of views. I just have small goals. So that company's video was my quickest video to 100 views, which I thought went down really well. The company's video is nice. Like I say, it's just struggling with no daylight on site at the moment. Struggling to do some kind of videos. So if I do miss a Saturday, it's because I haven't had the chance to film something, and I will try and do stuff in the cabin, but like I say, I don't want it to become too much. I don't want it to become too much of a repetitive thing of me in the cabin every week, just talking about something different. So I'll try and change that up a bit. This Saturday, like I said earlier, is kind of like a review / demonstration of my body cam that someone asked for. Other people have as well. So that's what's coming out this Saturday. The following Saturday after that, I have no idea. But I do have a few Sundays off at the moment. So maybe I can do something on Sundays that I can do it out in the daylight, etc. So, or maybe even Monday morning, because obviously I can get up a little bit earlier on the Monday before my shift and maybe do something with the dog for an hour. I could possibly go over, because I found a new field that I'll go and walk my dog every morning, or I normally take him over there during the day. If like today, I took him over there about 2:30, and it's just a massive open field that I can just go and throw the ball for him and things like that. And maybe I can do some little bit of like off-lead obedience work there. So possibly that's something that I could do. That is a possible video. If you're interested in like the kind of obedience things I'm asked to do at training, obviously I've done the NASDO commands video, but if you want me to give a demonstration of the typical stuff that I get asked to do whilst doing obedience training at my training, I could do that. There's things like stepping over your dog, walking over your dog, getting the dog to down, getting him to sit from a distance, getting him to lay from a distance. If you want me to do that type of video, that's something that I can do over in the field over there. That I could do it on lead and then possibly try and do a little bit off lead as well. Right, mate, you know what us handlers are like. Yeah, this is that 10 minutes, well, that 5-10 minutes of live streaming is a bit like all the handlers meeting up for a bit of a natter. Got away with that one by the skin of teeth. It's better to be lucky than good, mate. That's most of the stuff I've ever lived on. That is my motto. Better to be lucky than good. Danny Rolfe, the penny dropped. Porsche K9, we did our NASDO together. I lost your details. Why not heard from me? So Danny Rolfe and Porsche K9, you did your NASDO together? Possibly. So yeah, is there anything anyone wants to have a quick chat about? Obviously, we've got the Christmas giveaway coming up. I slightly changed the giveaway. So at the start, I offered free £10 Amazon vouchers for 3 people in the comments. What I've also done is I've changed it. So if you go to the Christmas giveaway video, if you comment down there about why you follow my channel, etc., if you win, you will either be able to choose between a £10 Amazon voucher or an hour Zoom call with me one-on-one. So basically, just for an hour, we just hang out having a chat on Zoom, and you can ask me questions about SIA. You can ask me questions about my NASDO, dog training. You can speak to me about anything like that. So yeah, if you haven't commented on the Christmas giveaway video, go and do that. And like I say, you can choose between a £10 Amazon voucher or an hour of me on Zoom at some point between probably just after the New Year when we're both free. So yeah, if that makes you more interested in winning, then that'd be great. But other than that, my girlfriend's just got home and she's just taken she's sitting on the floor with a dog trying to keep him quiet so he don't go Garrity. You all right? Do you want to come and say hello? Not you. Yeah. What are you barking at me for? Do you want to come and say hello? So everyone, this is the other owner of the dog, the mama's boy. So has anyone got a quick question for Ada about being the girlfriend of a dog handler in terms of what it's like to live with someone that's a dog handler, about their side of it? Because obviously we've got our side, and I can only ever give my comments on our side of the industry. But obviously you've got the side of the girlfriends and things like that, where they have to spend all the evenings alone, and you take the protection dog away for the night, and they're just sitting here on their own. Yeah, mate. What's up? Hey. So what would you say is the worst thing about living with a dog handler?
Well, the noise when postman arrives, that's the worst.
So the noise when the postman or deliveries come.
Yeah, that's definitely a problem.
Yeah.
Postman no longer rings the doorbell, just chucks on the patio and runs away. That's a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, we don't see each other from Sunday afternoon to Wednesday evening to now.
Mm-hmm. But then you get to watch all your nonsense TV that I won't watch.
That's true.
That's true. How do you put up with him? That's what people ask my missus all the time.
Yeah, well,
I think the break during the week just gives you a bit of a break from me and the dog.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And he sleeps all day, so can't nag him. No mess.
Would you say one of the worst things about, maybe this is just me, but maybe one of the worst things is that obviously working overnight, sleeping during the day, that I don't have enough time to do the dishes or do the dishwasher?
No, you're quite good on that. I think you sense when I'm annoyed to the point where I'm going to kick off, and you kind of get things done.
Yeah.
But the wanting to be at home, mm-hmm. because you've been out all night and slept all day, so you want to be at home, and then I want to go out and do things. So that's where it's really struggle.
Well, you mean when I've been doing a 15-hour shift walking, and then I get home and you want to go for a walk?
Yeah, pretty much. That's a bit of a
problem. The missus loves peace and quiet.
That's very true. I get a lot of it, apart from a few hours a week.
Yeah, I'd say so. It says you're definitely the boss. Do you reckon you're the boss, or do you reckon the dog's the boss?
I'm the louder one. He's the cranky one. So technically, it sounds like I'm the boss, but I'm not really.
So you're the one that does the orders, and I'm the one that just gets the ump.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Cam, I watch all your videos and enjoy them and find out new things on not commenting to win, but anything that you just let you know, mate. P.S. You do not need to read this out. Oh, well, I did anyway. No, Mike wears the trousers. Had a pick then.
Pretty much.
No, the woman's definitely the boss.
See what you started now.
Well, you missed about 15 minutes ago when I mistakenly called a male dog handler a woman.
Oh,
but I was. You can cover this. So I called Porsche K9 a she.
okay. It's because Porsche.
Because of Porsche, and then he said, "No, I'm a she. I've named the channel after my dog, which is a bitch."
Yeah, I see. That's confusing, but I see your point.
That's how I got it. Right, guys, I'm going to call it there. That's an hour and a half. And if you want to, obviously, you all can go down in the comments if you want to continue any conversation. Thanks for watching. It's been a longer one than normal, like I said, but the last half hour has turned into absolute carnage. Thanks for everyone for watching and getting involved. I think it's been another good live, and something that we all enjoyed doing. So thanks for watching. Make sure if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Subscribe down below if you're not subscribed already, which I know a lot of you are. And I'll see you in a couple of weeks on the live stream, but I'll see you again in videos as well. So see you later, guys. Enjoy your evenings. Hope you're supporting Man United in the Champions League, and I'll see you again.
No need.
No need?
No need.
All right. See you later. Bye.